Alright, so Infamous 2 is getting hit with a server shutdown coming in only a few days on August 31st, making the user-generated content of the game exist no longer. And this also makes a large portion of the game unplayable and a multitude of trophies, including the Platinum Trophy, unobtainable if you don't already have the UGC trophies. So I want to say a huge shout out to the many people who have both DM'd me, added me on Twitter, and in the comments on my videos, warning me of this, because I do indeed live under a rock. However, today I did go in and get not only the UGC trophies, but also every single other trophy in the game, including the Platinum Trophy on Infamous 2. In total, Infamous 2 contains 52 trophies with the Platinum. It's estimated to take about 35 hours to finish. However, it took me a lot longer because I messed up quite a bit, and yeah, it was embarrassing. You also do have to stream this game to play it on the PS5, which even with good Wi-Fi like myself, weird flex, it still barely works, and I would crash numerous times. I genuinely think that the PS Plus game streaming feature is like the worst ever developed thing. Anyways, there's also a ton of missable trophies, making this furthermore a challenge, but at the end of the day, it's Infamous, so it's still a very fun time, much like I had in my other videos on this game series. But with that all said, let's begin. So the first stage to getting this platinum is going to be to go through on good karma and complete it all. You will need to do 2 playthroughs no matter what to finish this game, and I would recommend doing the good karma one first because it's honestly harder in some ways compared to the evil karma one, since having a good moral compass does come at a cost, and that cost is mass murder. You know what they say, with great power comes great responsibility, and it's your responsibility to drop a like on this video. Alright, never mind, that was cringe as hell, I'm out. Oh my god! Anyways, Infamous 2 picks up right after Infamous 1's ending. Now, I actually did make a video on Infamous 1 over a year ago, so you know the story wasn't all that much in my brain at this point, but from what I remember and what I know now after beating Infamous 2 twice is that the game's main villain is this creature called the Beast, and the Beast is literally just a giant fireman who is like pretty much impossible to kill, and this entire game's plot has us running away from the city that we were inside of in Infamous to a place called New Marie, and you literally just try and take over the city from the current bad guys, get stronger, and just prepare to fight the Beast the entire game. That is the entire plot. Also, let's lay out the main characters because I'm going to be jumping around a lot since this game is actually very long. You got 4 main people: Cole, who is us; Zeke, who is our best friend and main helper in our cause; Quo, who is also a friend and helping us; and then finally Nyx, who is just kind of like Quo but like an eviler version, but she's still somewhat good deep down in that beautiful busty heart. Now, by getting stronger, our first goal is to find some doctor scientist guy that invented the blast core, which are what powers up Cole and kind of created this whole conduit superpower thing going on in this world. Before reaching the dock, however, you do have to make it to New Marie to begin with, and there is a militia presence throughout the city which has shoot on site orders for conduits. If you don't remember what conduits are, it's just a fancy ass name for people with cool superpowers like ourselves. So I had to take out the militia at this river blockade so we could get up to New Marie, and overall it wasn't that hard. We also aren't playing on a hard difficulty quite yet, obviously, so it really shouldn't be, but I'm not gonna lie, these older games are pretty brutal. I forgot how much modern gaming holds your hand nowadays, and I did have a few spots where I was dying, which is pretty insane to say the least. Anyways, we then made it to the city, and Dr. Wolf is the man we are after. However, once arriving on the Discord call with him, he says that the militia stole his blast core this morning. Talk about a coincidence. So we then have to go steal it back. On the way there, I also got a random ass combat trophy right away for my first trophy of the game, being called Watch That First Step from defeating an enemy by destroying an object they are standing on. This is easily done when enemies are on terraces, and that's how I got it right here with the trophy popping. I then made it over to the lookout where the militia was holding the blast core in a chest on a roof, and remember when I said I died a lot? Yeah, I would end up kicking the bucket twice instantly. I think it's a skill issue, but also my excuse is that I had to play this on the PS5 streaming function, which again is just abysmal in 2026 still.
I literally have 5G fiber internet and I still cannot play in 1080p without lagging. It's fucking crazy work, Sony.
Hey, what's up everybody? Here's a rare ItsIlusion facecam appearance, and guess what? It's brought to you by Whatnot. Thank you for sponsoring this video. Now, you guys know I play and buy video games all the time to make these videos on the channel, and there has been no better place to find nostalgic old games like today's video than on Whatnot. And they might even have a chance for you guys to win $500 later on, but more on that later. First of all, if you don't know what Whatnot is, it's the #1 live stream shopping app in the world, with categories including Pokemon cards, sports cards, electronics, tools, coins, toys, Legos, Funkos, and so much more, even snacks, candy, meat, and seafood. You can literally buy, sell, or auction anything you want. Now, if you don't believe me, we're gonna head onto Whatnot right now and buy some retro games live to show you guys what's up. This game looks absolutely insane. I'm bidding $2. I'm bidding $7. I'm bidding $9. Yes, I got an... I want to try to get 2 more games. 2 more games.
Next up, Naruto to Boruto, Shinobi Striker.
Ooh, okay, I gotta get this. I gotta get this. A Naruto game. You're not outbidding me, bro. You're not outbidding me. Yep.
There we go. Last PS4 game. Last PS4 game of the day. Enter the Gungeon.
Ooh, actually, I was gonna make a video on this game.
Ooh,
Hold up. I gotta do this. All right, there we go. We got 3 games. Easy, baby. I absolutely can't wait for those to arrive at my house. Before I go, make sure you guys scan the QR code on screen to get $15 off your first purchase on Whatnot. That means all 3 of those games I just got would have only been $38 and not $53 total. An absolute bargain. Also, if you follow my account on Whatnot at ItsIlusioneYT, you get automatically entered into a $500 giveaway of Whatnot credit, which you can spend on anything and everything. So I'll see you guys in a month with the winner, and thanks to Whatnot once more for sponsoring this video.
Let's go.
After I did finally survive, though, I then got the blast core, but off in the distance, Dr. Wolf's lab just blew the up. So then we had to go over and pray that bro was still with us because he is low-key our carry right now. Long story short, he ended up being completely fine. Plot armor is all I'm gonna say. Anyways, he also gave us an object called the RFI, which is actually what we will be using throughout the entire game to try and stop the beast, because it's this like ultimate power stopping tool and can take away powers from any conduit, including the beast. However, unfortunately, you need to power with blast cores, and you need a lot of them, meaning it's essentially useless to us for the entire game. But we do finally absorb that first blast core, and then we eat shit. This did unlock a new move, however, but it was just your standard R2 lift move from pretty much every infamous game out there. After that, you then go through a lot of tutorial missions into both grabbing blast shards, which are collectibles scattered around the map that make you stronger and are needed for a lot of trophies, and also just some generic karma mission tutorials and all of that. But then finally, we did unlock the amazing and very important user-generated content missions. Now, since these are literally being killed like a prisoner on death row in a few days, I decided to just farm out every single trophy related to them right now. I also used a little trick to get every single blast shard because you can just play a certain UGC mission that gives them all to you, and yeah, that saved me hours upon hours of just dumb collectibles. Yeah, I'm gonna cry, it's so helpful. Now, before I get ahead of myself, I also took a fat dump and I managed to come back with seconds remaining before getting timed out by the servers. Again, why the hell is this even a thing that's a part of game streaming? I can't leave for 5 minutes to go do something. Genuinely a horrible feature all around. I f***ing hate it. But the first user-generated content mission trophy is called Level Up. It's from actually creating a mission yourself, which is very simple. Just use a template and basically just finalize it right away and you'll get the trophy like I did right here. I then got both those blast shard collectible trophies from playing a UGC mission called 305 Blast Shards Auto Collect, and I just picked the one with the best ratings because that means it's, you know, probably the OG and the best one out there. Turns out I was right, and you quite literally just have to sit there and it will go through a slideshow showing all the locations, grabbing them for you. Getting me both the shard code trophy from getting 50% of the blast shards collected, and then the just one more trophy from getting them all collected as you would expect. So there's both of those trophies popping. But still on the UGC trophies, I only have 3 more to get, being from playing 5 under the newest filter, which is a bit odd, but you have to make sure you have that set when searching for missions, then just wait for missions around the map to show up with a new exclamation point icon, then just play them, and you do have to finish them for it to count. So after doing 5, it will pop, and here's that trophy pop. I then just played 10 missions total from the UGC. Very simple, and after playing 10 random ass ones, I got the trophy pop right here. And the final trophy is then from playing 25 total. This one is obviously a bit longer, but I found some really fast missions, so I was able to burn it out no problem whatsoever. And here is that trophy pop, finishing off the future unobtainable trophies. If you're watching this in 2026 September and onwards, I'm sorry, little bro. You should have had post noties on. That's your fault, my guy. Anyways, back at it in the story, we then got introduced to the side villain of the game being named Bertrand. He is the ringleader of the militia and the sort of guy running New Marie, mostly or, you know, entirely through force, but hey, it's the end time, so whatever gets the checks rolling in. But we also get shown he has created literal monsters instead of just annoying militiamen who beat their wives, and you then have to battle monsters in the middle of his rally, and he starts saying that we caused it. If you can't tell, Bertrand tries to smear us every time anything happens. A true politician at the end of the day. These monster enemies are also the strongest in the game, and I mean, yeah, they look like they're straight out of Miss Pelican's Weird Children or whatever the that Books movie was called. But you just have to fight them all until they're gone. We then chase after Bertrand, and once catching up to his car, he just has a helicopter of his show up to distract us. Boy, to have the funds of a politician. Maybe I could finally move out the hood, on God. Anyways, after taking out the helicopter, that mission is over, and we will see Bertrand more in the future. You can count on that. So for the next hour of gameplay, I just kind of ran around and did whatever story objectives came up. Nothing crazy really happened, however, and it was primarily just us in the open world fighting stronger and stronger enemies. However, at some point, Quo, who was like our girl in the chair, sort sort of a quest giver in a sense, ends up getting captured. Now we have to save her because not only is she very helpful to our cause, but she's also one of the last surviving hot, busty Asians on Earth. The beast has just been taking them out left and right for whatever reason. I don't know why. So there's then a very long and large mission having us go from shack to shack, searching for her after the militia took her. And I would end up getting a trophy instantly during it called Don't Fence Me In, which was from climbing a chain link fence and rejoicing. Now I have no idea what this is, but I just jumped over a fence and it popped. Easiest border crossing ever. Again, while searching for Quo, it was basically all in the swamp, and because of this, as I was running past enemies like a dum-dum, I ended up stepping in the water, which is our weakness, by the way. But when you do go in water, it causes a deadly chain, and anything else that's also in the water dies. Getting me a trophy called I'm as shocked as you are from defeating an enemy or civilian by stepping in water, and here is that trophy popping. Oh yeah, also right after that we met Nyx finally, who I'm pretty sure was in the first game, but she's like this devilish, evil, but also kind of good, but mostly bad, definitely baddie chick who helps us here and there. She's kind of like Quo if Quo listened to Little Peep and cut herself as a teenager summed up. And I'm not gonna lie, I have no clue what happened to the Finding Quo plotline because we just follow Nyx in the middle of it. I don't know if it happens later. I'm writing this video like a month after recording it, so we are indeed cooked. But this next mission with Nyx takes place instantly, and we joined her in ruining another rally ran by Bertrand. I also failed this for like an hour straight because it's actually very hard to do, but you literally just have to eliminate all of the enemies, pour these barrels of oil, I'm pretty sure, off the side, and you just do that around all of the tall rooftops. Very simple goal. I am just washed as hell, I guess. But once I did finally do it, you then light all the militia flags on fire, ruining the event completely. And then we took out all of the militia as well. A true massacre, if you will, and that's what okay. As I said earlier, Nyx is evil, and that's the kind of stuff you can expect from her missions. Nyx is the type of girl to tell you that she's a girl, but she's actually a dude. I'm never falling for that again, Tyler. Following that, the next main mission had us infiltrating this giant plantation because apparently Quo was being held below it and being pumped full of energy by the militia. They are trying to turn her into a super Asian, call her Godzilla. Long story short, it's a ridiculous amount of combat, and I almost started peeing blood because of how much I got railed. But we did find Quo, and she was all strung up. However, after getting her out, she ended up actually becoming a conduit just like us. A true power couple, if you will. And while taking out the final few enemies to finish off the mission, I ended up getting another combat trophy called Army of Me from defeating 300 enemies. So here is that trophy pop. We then did save her finally, and she has powers now, as I said, but she then took a power nap in the back of our truck to end off the mission. And that mission was also a trophy giving one with a store trophy popping after its completion right here called Quid Pro Quo. Get it? Because her name is Quo. Anyways, after that, I then did my first generator mission of the game. There was multiple of these throughout the story because they unlock new areas of the map by turning the power on inside of them. And basically all you do is go to these generators around blacked out areas of the game. You sit by them as they charge up, and a ton of enemies come after you. Now, it's actually very hard to not die because there is just enemy after enemy after enemy. It's like the orgy just got out. But you can sort of also just kind of suck up the generator's electricity to heal as it's also charging. It doesn't really make much sense, but hey, suck that, you little slut, and you'll be fine. I then did another main mission after, which had us saving this girl from a sacrifice. Very random, but I guess the militia is into that. And this same lady, after rescuing her, we then had to follow through the city to keep alive all the way until reaching her husband, who is this powerful military dude that's the leader of the rebels in the game. He's not really mentioned all that much throughout the game, but he's still an important figure here and there. After finding him, however, we then boss fought a giant enemy called the Devourer. And these fights are actually very common in this game. You fight big ass enemies damn near every time in missions, more and more and more as the game's story goes on towards the ending. Overall though, none of the bosses are really that hard to kill. They all have very predictable weak points, and they're just pretty much annoying. Anyways, jumping forwards to a mission that does give a trophy, the next one was called Hearts and Minds. And it has us riding an ambulance through the city and having to take out every enemy in our way without the ambulance dipping too far down in damage. I did fail a few times, but it was complete BS, and it's not my fault on John. After helping the ambulance make it all the way to its destination, we then brought the much needed aid to the people and the rebels of the city. And there was also a massive ass fight against the militia once more to end it off. However, once every enemy was defeated, we rejoiced in the trophy pop from the story. The following mission after that was then a massive one relating to us storming the major fort the militia is operating out of. And it was genuinely the most heavy combat mission of the entire game. Now, this is also a special mission because at the end of it, you can choose between Quo or Nyx to like merge powers with and become stronger and kind kind of like one of the kind of like the same, kind of like we're f***ing basically. But overall, like I said, the mission is just fighting and fighting. Again, after reaching the end of it and finally surviving, you reach this mechanism and choose between Nyx or Quo. I chose Quo because she's the good karma person, and we need that for this playthrough. After doing so, I then got the status quo trophy pop. Okay, guys.
It was funny the first time. We don't need a pun related to her name every time. Thank you.
Man, shut your bitch ass up.
Anyways, moving on a little bit later, I did end up reaching the other side of the island that we are on after going across this bridge, which is technically the end game area of Infamous 2, but it's really nothing special. It's largely just tenements everywhere, and it's all flooded, so it's low-key a very annoying place to play the game inside of. Because again, water is our weakness, so that's just not good. But I did end up getting full positive karma here for the incorruptible trophy, so here's that trophy pop, thankfully. And while I was just going around doing some missions here and there, I also managed to get 50% of the dead drops completed. Dead drops are a type of audiophile collectible that you shoot out of the air when seeing a little blue bird appear on the minimap. It's honestly very easy to get these. They show up pretty far away in the map, so it's not much trouble. And after doing 50% of them, I got a trophy pop right here. The following main story mission was then called Exposure, and it had us sneaking in on Bertrand's militia group when they were inside the rail yards, and we were trying to expose what they are doing. You end up finding out that Bertrand is also a conduit, but his powers are very bad, and all he can do is turn himself into those monster creatures, but then also turn other people into those monsters, which is exactly what he did right in front of us, and we got it on film. Shout out to the modern ages of surveillance. We got the Kim K tape and Bertrand exposing tape leak in the same span of 5 years. You love to see it. But then the rest of the mission had us fighting the entire militia and also freeing civilians from encampments because they were a lot of them trapped here. Overall, it's nothing new in terms of a challenge. At this point, I also have grown a lot in my strength, so it's not as easy to be taken advantage of at this point. And after all was said and done, I got a trophy from that story mission right here. Now, while going through some more story missions, I got 3 combat trophies in a row. First was called Heavy Hitter from using ionic powers 30 times. This is in relation to when we get those purple orbs from certain enemies, which allow us to use an ultimate ability of sorts. It's not a hard trophy, but it does take some time, and here it is popping after I did use it 30 times total. After that was in a trophy called Hero to the People from stopping 80 crimes in progress. Crimes appear all over the map when traveling. They show up as little blue icons, changing picture depending on what type of crime it is. But after just stopping 80 total, which you should be doing whenever seeing them, the trophy will pop, and here it is. Finally, I then got the Go Long trophy from hurling 50 objects using the kinetic pulse ability. A bit of a weird trophy, but it's literally just from throwing 50 objects. That's literally it, and here's the trophy pop. I then played for about 4 more hours, and not much at all happened. I didn't get any trophies. The story just kind of kept on chugging along, but finally we did reach another story trophy, and it was in relation to Bertrand once again. But you basically just meet him on a roof, then rage bait him into turning into his true monster form, which was a giant, disgusting creation. I don't even know how to describe that. And then you ride on the back of a car for a little while, getting chased before putting up a final stand and fighting him to the death. We managed to take him out, and it honestly took forever, which isn't a shocker, I guess, you know, because the dude is huge. But after winning, Bertrand is no more. We had a threesome with Quo and Nyx, and then we got the story trophy pop right here. After that mission, the only one left is basically just the final one and the ending of Infamous 2. There was a lot of building up to it, but we don't got all day to sit here and jerk it. I mean, Infamous 2 is shutting down soon. Y'all gotta finish the vid and then get that plat, bro. Come on now. But essentially, the good ending has us actually choose to go with Nyx because she ends up being the good guy after all. But long story short, the RFI that has been said to help us defeat the beast actually just kills off every single conduit in the world. But in turn, it also kills the plague that is happening in this game. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that. There's a plague in this world, and if you're not a conduit, you just die. So yeah, you can't cure it unless you're a superhero. That's what the plague is. And the good ending of the game is to use the RFI and kill all of the conduits to save the greater part of humanity. So we chose that, and then we got off with Nyx. Quo actually ends up evil, which is very weird, but she just didn't want to die, so I mean, that's understandable, I guess. But the ending mission just had us fight the beast as you would expect. You then fight Quo actually, and then the beast again, and then Quo again. It's a whole mess. However, after making it through all of them, we finally charged up the RFI and activated it. A giant beam of light then rises up. Every single monster dies instantly. Then all of the conduits died. Even people who were conduits but didn't have powers yet also died. Kind of a crazy feature, but hey, that's fine, I guess. So humanity lives on. The conduits are no more, and that is Infamous 2 story complete, with the good ending trophy popping after all of the cutscenes did finish off. Now, we aren't finished. Not even close. And this game does put you right back in after for post-story stuff, so you don't have to worry about it just like ending. But now it's time to go back and get all the other trophies I can right now that I'm missing before starting the evil and hard playthrough. And there was a lot of them. This is also where I wasted like 20 hours of playtime because I just messed up so many things. It was crazy. I also am going to turn this into stage 2 of the platinum because we're going to be here for a while. Alright, so this is the cleanup stage of mostly all the other trophies besides the second playthrough trophy. And the first two trophies I went after were actually objective-based ones and not just like, you know, generic kill trophies, which is heavily in this stage of playtime. Being back to the Bayou from first returning to the Swamp Blockade. Now this is a little Easter egg reference to us going back to the very intro area of New Marie when we first got here. It's a bit confusing to get to, so I did follow a video, but at this point we have enough jump upgrades and tools to make it pretty much anywhere we wish. Once making it far enough into the area, the trophy just pops at random, and here it is. Next up was Mountaineer from climbing to the top of the 3 tallest buildings in New Marie. I'm pretty sure you will get 2 of these done during the story, or at least you can do them in the story. But here is where the 3 tallest buildings are at. Simply climb all the way up to the very tippy top, and once up you can then leave. After doing it to all 3, the trophy should pop, and here it is. Now after that I would end up farming out a ton of trophies. The hardest and longest so far would be the first one I did right here, called Extreme Makeover, from destroying 30 verandas or other large objects. This trophy is a little bit weird, but you need to just see the XP pop up of big destruction 30 times. Now the easiest way to do this, and the way you were supposed to, is just to run around the city and down this strip which has like 5 or 6 verandas or these big balconies which you can destroy for this to count. That's what a veranda is, it's just a big balcony. There isn't really any other great methods to this trophy aside from this, so yeah, a little unfortunate, but I got it after a while, and here's the trophy pop. Now the next 9 or so trophies I would then get basically back to back. First was called Take Them for a Spin from hitting at least 6 cars with a single ionic vortex. Very self-explanatory, just find a lot of cars, use the ability, and it should pop, no issue at all. Next up was Nothing Can Bring Me Down from staying off the ground for 130 meters. This trophy is a bit weird, but you have to do it at one specific spot, being at the very top of the cathedral. You then have to slowly glide down without touching anything at all. If you even graze a power line, you will fail. So yeah, just keep that in mind. I did it on my second try, and here's that trophy pop. Following that was then Shock and Awe from thunder dropping into a group of 5 or more enemies. Again, a pretty simple trophy. It can be kind of hard to find 5 grouped up closely, but if you play this one side quest called Masquerade, about 30 enemies will be after you, and I got it super easy that way. And during this same side quest, I also farmed out 3 more trophies. First being Discerning Taste, which is gotten from taking down a street performer who is imitating a statue. Now you can find these guys around the map here and there, but it is best to just finish this side quest because there is one during it that you have to eliminate for it. And once I did, I got the trophy pop right here. I then got Headhunter from using the precision ability to rack up 3 headshots in rapid succession. Relatively simple, just aim at their heads and get those headshots. I apparently did it right here, and there's the trophy. Now then, the final trophy I got during this was then called Vehicular Manslaughter from defeating 25 enemies by throwing cars at them. And I did it again on this mission by just throwing cars at the rally of sorts. Pretty simple, very funny, and here's that trophy pop. After that splurge, I then farmed out another trophy called Express Elevator from ascending 50 vertical launch points. These are those little electric pipes around the game that launch you upwards, and you don't even have to do 50 different ones, simply using the same one 50 times counts. And I just did that, getting the trophy after a few minutes of stroking that pipe. Now after that, I then began the side quest grind. There is a ton of side quests in Infamous 2, and every single one needs to be completed. Now I also was a complete idiot and started mix matching good and evil side quests because I forgot that I didn't do the good ones yet, and there is different trophies for both, so yeah, I kind of avoided those. It's fine. But I did a trophy here called Dazed and Diffused, and apparently this one wasn't a good or evil mission choice, but rather a neutral one, and it was from taking down the Blast Shard Bomber. The side quest itself is like 2 minutes long, and you literally just chase after a guy with a bomb. Once catching him and taking him out, it's over and the trophy pops. So I then just kept on doing side quests. It took a very long time. I also didn't get many trophies during these, but I would get one for performing 100 finishers right here called Finish What You Started. That's how I feel every time the shirt comes off during a good old dump. But yeah, I just do 100 finishers, and here's that trophy pop. I then got a skill-related trophy called Matching Set from unlocking and purchasing a power of each type by performing stunts. I don't 100% remember what this is, but I'm pretty sure there's powers in this game that you have to like use other ones to unlock. Actually, I think that's exactly what it is. So I guess I did that, and here's a trophy pop. I also got a combat trophy after on accident called Cold-Blooded from defeating 100 civilians. Now I definitely did this on accident, and just ignore the gameplay you're seeing. My finger slipped, okay? Anyways, here's the trophy pop. I then got one final trophy before just a bunch of completionist trophies being called Return to Sender from sending a helicopter's rocket back at it using any blast ability. A very simple trophy. It's actually harder just finding a helicopter which shoots rockets at you because some of them don't, or at least they don't right away. You need to damage them first. But all in all, just wait till they shoot the rocket, then send it back, and yeah, not complex, and here's the trophy pop. Now moving on from that, I then got, like I said, 4 completionist trophies, with the first 2 being from doing all these side quests in the game. Now when you complete all the side quests, you both unlock unlock new power moves to buy, but you also sort of take over the island in a way, which is what both the trophies are referencing. It's my town now from taking over the second island, and landlord from taking over the first island. Again, just doing all the side quests to get these trophies, and here are both of them popping. I then got the well-informed trophy from collecting all of the dead drops, which is very easy. I did use a map at the end because I was a few short, but again, they show up on the mini-map when nearby, so it's very easy to spot them. After getting that final one, the trophy then popped, and here it is. However, after that was when we reached a major roadblock. I needed a lot more XP to get every single power. I'm talking like 20,000 more, and I had basically no way to get it because I've taken over both islands and done everything. And there's also rarely enemies or anything to do. But long story short, this is my fault because I did sort of run past enemies throughout the story due to not wanting to, you know, stop and fight every 5 seconds. But you should because, you know, XP is obviously scarce. So I'm not complaining. I just really fucked up, and yeah, this was ass, but it's my fault. The only good way to get XP post-story that I found is to throw on an XP farm UGC mission and let it run for 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, you'll get the max XP per UGC mission, which is like 300, I think, if I remember correctly. It might be less, I don't recall. But I just rubber banded my controller to not go AFK, and yeah, it took forever. During the time I was AFK, I pretty much just spent time with my puppy and my girlfriend while this shit was burning through. Absolutely the worst way to get this trophy, and totally my fault, but you know what? It is what it is. I eventually did get the XP needed and the trophy popped, so yeah, that was still balls, but that is the cleanup stage finished off with finally. Alright, so this is the final stage of the platinum, and every single trophy left can be gotten here. You also do want to play on hard difficulty, by the way. I almost forgot to say that, but there is a hard difficulty trophy. But with that, basically all you want to do is be evil. And if you miss any trophies in particular from the cleanup, just get them here as well because you have plenty of chances to do so. The first trophy I got during this was one I missed earlier called Knockout in the Blackout from defeating 50 enemies in power down areas while no missions are active. It's a very simple trophy. Just go to a power down area and get 50 kills. It is quite hard though since the enemies are very strong in those areas, and there's also little to no electricity to heal with, so you're kind of limp dicking it, if you will. But I just farmed it out. It took forever, but once getting 50, the trophy did pop. Now my next 4 trophies are then all from the evil missions and choosing the evil paths in specific missions, with the first one being called a streetcar named Boom. This was gotten on the saving quo mission, but doing it the evil way, and it's honestly basically the same thing, so there's not much to say here to trophy pop. In fact, nearly all of these evil choices are still mostly the same thing. The only major difference is at the end of the game when you do choose the evil ending. But next up was called Playing Both Sides from Fooling the Rebels. This is another evil choice, and the reason it's evil is because we kind of baited the militia into fighting the rebels and then didn't really help, so we low-key let them die a bit, but hey, we are evil now. Anyways, after the mission ended, the trophy then popped. I then got to the 4th mission again, and this one was literally the same thing, except at the very end you just pick Nix instead of Quo. So yeah, here's the trophy pop. Now there was then one more last evil choice to do before beating the story once again, and it was called Am I the Daddy from completing Nix's new family mission. And this one was in relation to Nix controlling the monsters that Bertrand created. It's pretty simple. You just fight some enemies with the help of the monsters who are now on our side. Pretty fun also. Once completing the trophy did pop. So we then reached the ending of the game, and choosing the evil ending is honestly way more fun. You and Quo team up and basically ruin the world. You burn bridges with Nix and Zeke, and the ending fight is actually far easier than the good playthrough. You don't battle a beast at all because he actually is on our side now. Instead, you just battle Nix, and it's honestly almost boring fighting her since she just teleports away every 3 seconds. Long story short, we killed her. And then you also reach Zeke, who has the RFI in one hand and a gun in the other. One last desperate push for humanity. He did not push hard enough, and he is also dead too. The beast then decides his time is up and he transfers power to us, which in doing so destroy the RFI and cause the plague to wipe out every single person who didn't have the conduit gene or was already a conduit. So the entire planet is now far less populated and full of cool people. This honestly might be the good ending after all. And here's that hard difficulty trophy pop and the evil ending trophy. So I then had 3 more trophies to get, completing all of the good karma side missions, all of the evil karma side missions, and then finally earning max negative karma. First, I just went through both the good and evil side mission lines. Now the reason I'm doing these now is because again, I mixed them up in the good playthrough and I voided out both trophies because if you do one good mission, you will lock out all of the evil ones and vice versa. But I just made a save slot, did all of the good ones, got the trophy, then reset back and did all of the evil ones, getting that trophy as well, and then I played out from that point on, with my final trophy in the game being from getting full negative or evil karma. And I farmed it out by doing this method where you find some cops, knock them down, then revive the same one over and over and over, and then kill him because it gives you full negative XP, and it's just far faster than running around doing bad crimes and shit Overall, it's boring, but hey, it's the best method. I finally got the trophy and the platinum trophy pop on Infamous 2. It's still insane that this game will be impossible soon. It honestly breaks my heart, but that was the Infamous 2 platinum trophy experience. The game is peak. I love the Infamous series. There's something so pure about these games that we are missing nowadays in gaming. It's just made to be fun. It has good writing, voice acting, humor, action, story. It's just amazing. I would love a modern day remake of these, but I doubt that's gonna happen, and yeah, oh well. Anyways, thanks for watching once more, and I'll see you guys with soon. Peace out. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys soon with more. Peace out, boys.